Okay. So this video is related to the interface concept with the support of swings, and I'll show you how event handling comes into picture. So event handling concepts I'll be explaining it later, but for now concentrate on interfaces and this keyword which is called as extends. So let me go and let's start typing the basic example, and let me do it with the support of a class example on the keyword extends and interface, extends and implements, extends and implements. Since I'll have this as a main method, dot java. Okay, so what is next? Obviously the first method which we usually use for loading public static void main java c interfaces cd dot strings dot java java space. So my main method is ready now. Let me jump into. Let me create a class. I'll call it as example, which extends JFrame. Means now you should know that this is a class. Good. And in the main method, I'll define an object ex is equal to new example, and I'll go with very basic things. I want it to be visible, that's it. Ex dot set visible true. So here is my class which is extending a class called JFrame. Set visible is a method which is coming from JFrame, or it might be from its parent. So let me compile it and interpret it. Compilation. So it says the first error. What is the first error? JFrame. Let me take the pointer to help you people in understanding the error. Class example extends JFrame. JFrame is not visible for it. It's a class. Now you have to use java x dot swing dot star. When we type this, this is called as fully qualified name. Sir, we have seen something called import. If you want to import it, but now I'll not to use import, I'll just go with java x dot swing dot jframe. So let me try compile it. Is it the error gone? Yes. And I have explained in my previous videos, java x is a folder, swing is a folder. Means it's a package. When I say the word package, you should type completely in lowercase. Now I have the package. Error is also gone. Now you should be able to see this one. Can you see this? There is a JFrame. Now what do I want to do? I want to check whenever there is a mouse inside this. I want to see an event handling. I want to do event handling. Whenever there is a mouse in, it should say that it is in. Whenever I say the mouse out, should say that it is out. When I'm moving, it should say moving. Click, drag, and check. Okay, all these are the things which I want to achieve. And Java gives us in the form of interfaces. Now you can see the code is still running after closing the window. I need to go with Control C. Explicitly kill the. So I can avoid it by typing one more line. Ex object dot set default close operation. It should go with a constant coming from the JFrame class dot exit on close. I have explained it before. When I type exit on close, it's a constant. When I type it, you should be knowing it. When I say it's a constant, you should know how to type it. Both are important here. Now JFrame. Here we have used fully qualified name. Once again, it will throw an error. I don't know what is JFrame is. To avoid this, we will use import. Let me compile it. I'll get the same error again, JFrame. So every time I cannot be writing the fully qualified name. To avoid this, you have to import it. Okay, let me take the class which is required. That's it. Save it. Now the error is gone. Gone. Hope you're clear. Fully qualified name. You need to specify every time. So to avoid it, I'm just importing. Now I want to do some event handling. Event handling. So let me take an example of a public constructor. System.out.println object create. Start explaining the remaining things now. Let me compile it and interpret it. I'm just okay, perfect. Compile it and interpret it. Object created. Close it. Now I want to have the events around it. So concentrate on the events now. If I want to have events, I need to have listeners. I want to go with listeners. Listeners will act as the one which listens for the events happening. So let me take a class called A, which implements mouse event, mouse listener. Let me compile it first. Always Java C. So it says that mouse listener is not visible. So where do we get that package? Where do we get that listener, which is an interface? Import java.awt.event dot mouse listener. Let me see whether the error is gone. Error will be gone. As I mentioned, it's an interface. So it says that A is not abstract and does not override the method from the previous video. Mouse listener. Mouse exited. So now let's make use of Java P command. Java P java dot awt dot event. It's a package. Dot mouse listener. How many methods it has? It is coming from an interface. Clicked, pressed, released, entered, exited. Mouse wheel listener. It says that it is mouse wheel moved. You can see all these things. You can Google it about all these things. We have 5 methods: mouse clicked, pressed, released, entered, and exited. Mouse wheel moved. This is what it gives with mouse wheel listener. But I want to see whether it is entered or exited. So if you don't know, make use of the package which I showed you people on the other day. This is RT. I'll open this. Java.awt.event dot mouse related. We have mouse event, mouse listener, mouse motion adapter, mouse motion listener. Let me take the support of that and let me see what is there in mouse motion listener. Perfect. We have mouse dragged, mouse moved. This is what we have in the mouse motion listener. One is moved, the other one is dragged. Two methods. We have clicked, pressed, released, entered, exited. We have two methods here, entered and exited. That is what I want to see. Whenever the mouse enters, it should say that it is entered. Whenever it is exited, it should say that it is exited. Perfect. So these are the methods which can be used. And if you are using any Java installed games, all these are implemented. When you move the mouse, you can play around it. So we'll see how we can build a game or anything which is having events. So let's concentrate on interfaces concept. So I'm creating this mouse motion mouse listener. Mouse listener has how many methods? Let me recap on that. Mouse listener has, and I want to see only two things, entered and exited. But still, since it is a interface, public interface, you have to implement all the methods. This is the class here. And it's very simple. Whether you wish or not, you have to write the body for this. System.out.println mouse. So how many methods? Clicked, pressed, released, entered, exited. This is clicked. This is pressed, released, entered, and exited. Now let me see the error is gone or not. So some error. What is the error? Error is very simple. I'm writing it in a single line. Now, abstract keyword. Since it is already defined, we need to remove this. Now, you should know what should be removed. What is next? Public void mouse clicked, mouse listener, perfect. Mouse event. It is throwing an error for this mouse event. What is important? Mouse listener. I want to even import this one. So to avoid all these things, I'll use, and I don't need this anymore. It was a fully qualified name. We need to have an object for this mouse event. Usually we go with ME. If you want to go with this object, ME object, that is mouse event object. Mouse event is a class. Now all the errors are gone. Now let's see whether it works. Let's see whether it works. Can we recognize object created? Perfect. I don't see that message. Clicked, drag, pressed, release. No, you cannot. It is not recognizing. Why? Listener is implemented, but it is not added to your swing. Let me add it. Mouse, that is the JFrame object dot add mouse listener, and it should be an object from the class A. It should be an object from the class A. Now let us see whether it works. Hopefully it works. Yeah, it is working. Entered. Now it is exited, entered, exited, exit, entered. Let me click. Good one. Pressed, release, clicked. Pressed, drag, released. I want that dragging and moving option also. If I move it, I want to see mouse is getting moved. Mouse is getting moved. Okay. Who gives me that? It is mouse motion listener, comma, mouse motion listener, mouse motion, sorry, mouse motion listener. Mouse motion listener, let me define it by typing it. It should be public void mouse drag, public void mouse moved. And if you want to know the documentation of it, java p java dot awt dot event dot mouse motion listener. So one is mouse drag, mouse moved. Okay, and it has mouse event. Okay, perfect. So mouse drag, mouse moved. This is mouse event object. We have to have this parameter or else it cannot be called as overriding. And here I'll have system.out.println moved, and this is drag. Compile, interpret. Moving is not there. Why? You need to add the listener. Same step. So every time I cannot be keeping this object created. So I'll create an object a1 is equal to new a. Mouse motion listener should be added and it comes from the same object a1. So don't keep on creating multiple objects. In this example, I'll create one object added into this. Now let me see whether it works. Moving and dragging. Moving and dragging. Yeah, it's moving. Click, that is pressed. Now it is dragged. Make sense? Now I want to know the x and y axis. This will be the last example. I want to know the x and y axis. Why should I write all these things in class A? Not required. Let me move this to the bottom. I'll not use it. The same code, exactly same code. Let me copy it and let me paste it here. What should I write? Implements. Multiple inheritance. Let me place all these things into one class called example. And we have a constructor, add mouse listener, add mouse motion listener, but this is getting implemented in the current class. I have to use the keyword this. This means current class is implementing all these things. So I don't need this line anymore. I don't need this anymore. So now it still works. Perfect. Object created. Move, drag, move, click. Okay, perfect. Now the last example. What's the use of this object? Mouse event. So I'll take the support here. I want to see dragged. This is getting dragged. and let me implement it on one person so that you can see moved. Let me make use of this object, mouse event. I don't know the methods. I don't know the methods of mouse event. Very simple. You have this always the documentation Java p command Java dot awt dot event package dot mouse event. This is an object actually. This is a class. So you have this one. Can you see this public int get x get y? So I'll make use of this one. You have this get point, which is an object of java.awt point. I'll go with get x and get y, and just I'll start printing the x and y axis wherever it is moving. So mouse event me. Me is the object of mouse event. I'll take int x comma y, two variables. X is equal to y is equal to 0. Initialization, some initial values. Now I'll make use of the object now. X is equal to me dot get x. Y is equal to object dot get y. Now it's moving. It's not tracked. Plus x plus y. You want to print it like x comma. Let's see whether it works. As usual, compile and interpret. ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ. So computer graphics ಅಲ್ಲಿ this is x, positive x, this is positive y in this direction. It is not like the graph what you people draw. This is not positive x and this is not positive y. So this is my positive x. Can you see this? X is getting incremented, y is getting incremented. Done? Super. So let us see some implementations on this. Okay. Let me exit this. This is done with my basic understanding on this one, extends and implements. Okay, perfect. Let me show you MS Paint. I don't know whether you have used it, you have seen it or not. If you are really interested in learning Java, I want you people to create a project, observe my screen, that is 995 to x1. Observe these bottom lines. Okay, can you see that x and y axis? Correct? If I select this line, I can draw this. Draw this. Draw this. Just create one application in Java which draws only line. MS Paint is one of those projects. I don't know whether they have used Java or not, but you can see the beauty. I see this in a different way. Event listener, drag it, select the one, you can drag this, drag in this direction, drag in up, down, wherever you want. And my concentration, when I move it in the bottom, in this place, you'll see x and y axis. So this is positive x, this is positive y. Good. Thank you for watching this video. You should know where it is getting implemented. Now everything in Java computer is programmed. Stopping this